My name is Rachel, and I'm the villain at every family gathering now, the one who ruined my sister's perfect wedding, the one who caused a scene, the troublemaker. But let me start from the beginning. My sister Olivia and I were always close growing up. She was my best friend, my confidant, my partner in crime. We told each other everything. At least, that's what I thought. 2 years ago, I was dating this guy named James. He was perfect, kind, funny, ambitious. We'd been together for almost 3 years, and I thought he was the one. I even caught myself browsing engagement rings online sometimes. Then I started noticing how often Olivia would text him, how she'd always ask about him, how she'd find excuses to come over when he was at my place. I ignored the red flags because, well, it was Olivia, my sister, the person I trusted most in the world. Until the day I came home early from work with a migraine and found them together in my apartment, in my bed. I can still see their faces, the shock, the guilt. James stammered out excuses, but Olivia just sat there, silent, holding my sheets to her chest. I threw them both out, screaming, crying, breaking things. The betrayal was like a physical pain, something sharp and cruel, twisting in my chest. The worst part came after. When my family found out, they rallied around Olivia. She made a mistake, my mom said. Everyone deserves forgiveness, my dad added. Even my aunts and cousins told me I needed to move past it, that family comes first. No one seemed to care that she had broken my heart, shattered my trust. It was all about protecting Olivia, like always. She apologized, of course. Tearful phone calls, handwritten letters, even showed up at my apartment with flowers. I didn't want any of it. I cut her out of my life completely. Then came the news. She was dating Ryan, a guy she'd met at her new job. 6 months later, they were engaged. My family was ecstatic. Olivia's finally settling down, they'd say. She's so happy, so in love. I didn't attend the engagement party. I couldn't bear to see her happy when I was still picking up the pieces of my life. James and I had been building a future together, and she had destroyed it without a second thought. The wedding invitation arrived on a Tuesday. Thick cream cardstock with gold foil lettering, requesting the pleasure of my company as Olivia married Ryan. My mom called that same evening. "You have to come," she insisted. "She's your sister. It would mean so much to her." What about what would mean much to me, I wanted to ask, but instead I agreed, for the sake of peace, for the sake of family. The months leading up to the wedding were tense. Dress fittings, bridal showers, family dinners where everyone pretended nothing had happened. I played my part. I smiled in photos. I helped Olivia pick out centerpieces. I was the dutiful sister. Then came the rehearsal dinner. I was sitting at the bar trying to get through another evening of fake smiles when I overheard a conversation that made my blood run cold. "Do you think she knows?" a voice I recognized as belonging to Ryan's best man, Jake. "No way," another groomsman replied. "Liv's been careful, really careful." I shouldn't have eavesdropped, but I couldn't help myself. I leaned closer, pretending to check my phone. "It's been going on for months," Jake continued. "Ryan would be destroyed if he found out." "Well, he's not going to find out for me," the other guy said. "Bro code." I sat there frozen as the realization washed over me. Olivia was cheating on Ryan with his best man. The best man who would be standing next to them tomorrow as they exchanged vows. History was repeating itself, only this time, I wasn't the victim. Ryan was. Ryan, who by all accounts was a good man, who loved my sister enough to want to spend his life with her. I spent the night tossing and turning, wondering what to do. Should I tell Ryan? Should I confront Olivia? Should I mind my own business? By morning, I still hadn't decided. I went through the motions: hair, makeup, bridesmaid dress. I stood beside Olivia as she became a radiant bride. I held her bouquet during the vows. I smiled for the photographer. The ceremony went off without a hitch. 200 guests watched as Olivia and Ryan promised to love each other forever, to be faithful, to be true. I watched Jake's face during those vows, looking for any sign of guilt. There was none. Then came the reception. Champagne flowed, music played, people danced. The father of the bride gave a touching speech. The mother of the groom wiped away tears. And then it was time for the best man's toast. Jake stood up, glass in hand, that easy smile on his face. "I've known Ryan since college," he began. "We've been through everything together. When he told me he'd met someone special, I couldn't wait to meet her." I watched him spin a beautiful tale of friendship and love, of how happy he was for the couple, all while knowing he was sleeping with the bride. Something in me snapped. I stood up, my chair scraping loudly against the floor. The room fell silent. All eyes turned to me. "I'd like to make a toast too," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. Olivia's eyes widened. She knew me well enough to know something was wrong. "To the beautiful bride and groom," I continued, raising my glass. "To Ryan, who deserves a faithful wife, and to my sister Olivia, who apparently hasn't learned her lesson about betraying people who love her." The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. "You see, 2 years ago, Olivia slept with my boyfriend. She destroyed my relationship, broke my heart, and our family forgave her." I looked directly at Jake now. "But I wonder if they'll forgive her for sleeping with the best man." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Jake's face went pale. Ryan stood up, his chair toppling over behind him. "What?" he demanded, looking from Jake to Olivia. "Tell him," I said to Jake, "tell him about your months-long affair with his wife. Tell him what I overheard last night." Olivia was crying now, mascara streaming down her cheeks. "Rachel, please," she begged. But it was too late. The truth was out. What happened next was chaos. Ryan's mother fainted. His father had to be physically restrained from attacking Jake. Olivia ran from the room, her white dress trailing behind her like a surrender flag. Ryan just stood there, his face a mask of shock and pain. I recognized that look. I'd worn it myself 2 years ago. My family closed ranks around Olivia, just like before. They hustled her away, comforted her, protected her. My parents couldn't even look at me. I left the reception alone. No one came after me. No one called to check if I was okay. The fallout was swift and severe. The wedding was off, obviously. Ryan demanded an annulment. Jake disappeared, probably to avoid the wrath of Ryan's family. And me? I was branded the villain, the jealous sister who couldn't let go of the past, the troublemaker who ruined Olivia's big day. "You could have told Ryan privately," my mom yelled over the phone. "You didn't have to humiliate your sister in front of everyone." "You're a disgrace," my aunt texted, "after everything your sister has been through." Even my dad, who had always been my defender, told me I'd gone too far. "There's telling the truth, and then there's cruelty," he said. "You chose cruelty." Maybe they're right. Maybe I should have pulled Ryan aside, told him in private. Maybe I should have confronted Olivia first, given her a chance to come clean. Maybe I was motivated more by revenge than righteousness. But when I think about Ryan, standing at that altar, promising his life to someone who is already betraying him, I can't bring myself to regret what I did. He deserved to know the truth. He deserved better than a marriage built on lies. Olivia hasn't spoken to me since the wedding. Most of my family hasn't either. I'm the black sheep now, the cautionary tale they whisper about at family functions I'm no longer invited to. Sometimes I wonder if it was worth it. If exposing the truth was worth losing my family, if justice for a man I barely knew was worth the cost. Then I remember how no one stood up for me when I was the one betrayed, how everyone expected me to forgive and forget, to put family above my own pain, how Olivia never faced real consequences for what she did to me. Until now. So, am I the a-hole? Maybe, probably. In my family's eyes, definitely. But sometimes being right doesn't make you the hero. Sometimes it just makes you alone.